What happens when the future finally opens the door, but walking through it could cost you the life you already know? Affirmative is a story about work, dignity, family, and the price of opportunity. It begins in another era, but the question at its center is still with us. Good evening and welcome. I'm Jason Moore, founder of IIG Studios and IIG Films, and the writer and creative director behind Affirmative. Thank you for giving me a portion of your Friday evening, and more importantly, thank you for believing that an independent story can begin before every resource is in place. I want to set the right expectation at the beginning. What you're about to see is not the finished film. This is an early founder preview. A concise look at the story, the production already underway, the music, and creative relationships beginning to form around it, and the next steps required to move it forward. Some of the footage is intentionally being shared as work in progress. Picture, performance, sound, color, pacing, and music will continue to evolve. I'm showing it now because early supporters deserve more than promises. You deserve to see evidence of the work, understand the ambition, and know where your participation can make a meaningful difference. Tonight we'll run about 40 minutes in total. There will not be a live question and answer session. At the end, I'll give you one place to send questions, make introductions, or explore ways to participate, and I will follow up after the program. For now, I invite you to settle in and experience the world we are building.
It's the kind of reading you bring to work.
It's a book, sir.
We're going in a different direction.
Because of a book?
Because of judgment.
You lost your job.
I'll find something.
That is not the same thing.
In Discrew's presidential speech about civil rights, the line where all of us had tent and have stitch.
Washington is watching how companies hire now.
Watching for what?
Fairness.
I understand.
I need to know how badly you want to pass this class. Shine them.
That is as close as I will ever come to shining your shoes. Tell them you asked a grown man to kneel, and he stood up.
I cannot promote you.
With all due respect, I quit.
You liked being noticed. Then why does it feel like something did?
Nothing happened.
Affirmative grew from a simple conviction. History is most powerful when we feel it through the decisions of ordinary people. At the center of the story is Reggie Wilson, a Black family man in the 1960s whose livelihood is disrupted because of what he chooses to read and what that choice represents. When a new path into computer training becomes possible, Reggie faces a decision that is larger than a job. He has to weigh ambition against stability, possibility against responsibility, and the future against the needs of the people he loves right now. That tension is why this is not simply a story about a policy or a period in history. It is a family drama. It is about the private costs behind public progress. It is about what opportunity means when access arrives late, unevenly, or with conditions attached. Part of my connection to Reggie comes from living at the intersection of technology, entrepreneurship, and creative work. I understand the excitement of seeing a new tool or a new opportunity, and the responsibility of deciding whether it is real, sustainable, and worthy of the sacrifices it may require. Reggie's story is not my autobiography, but the pressure inside his decision is familiar. The desire to build something larger without abandoning the people or obligations that make the ambition meaningful. That is also why Lisa and the Wilson family cannot exist merely as obstacles to Reggie's dream. Their concerns have to carry weight. Opportunity looks different depending on who absorbs the risk. A decision that feels visionary to one person can feel destabilizing to everyone who depends on the present arrangement. The film has to respect both truths if the audience is going to believe the family. I am also drawn to the connection between education, technology, and mobility. Today, we talk about artificial intelligence changing work. In Reggie's world, computing represented a different but equally profound shift. The tools change, the human questions remain. Who gets trained? Who gets trusted? Who is expected to wait? And what must a family risk to move one generation forward? I believe stories like this deserve scale, care, and cultural specificity. I also believe independent filmmakers should be honest about the road between a strong idea and a finished motion picture. That road includes writing, revision, historical research, performance, sound, music, editing, legal clearances, financing, and a great deal of iteration. The next excerpt is an early production assembly from the opening movement of Affirmative. It has been professionally shaped for tonight, but it remains a work in progress. Please watch it for the world, the central tension, and the emotional direction, not as a representation of the final picture or sound.
You sure we're good?
We're fine.
Just 4?
That's right.
Keep it moving.
You do that every time.
Do what?
Like somebody's waiting on you to mess up.
Habit.
Mommy, we home yet?
Not yet, baby. Close your eyes. Good night, my sweet children. Your aunt looks smaller this time.
She sounded the same.
You miss them already?
I miss who they remember me being.
You were hard-headed when I met you, too.
I was 15. That was part of my charm.
You thought ignoring me at that dance made you mysterious.
It worked.
twins are still asleep.
Lucky them. But if I don't leave now, Heron will have something to say before I even sit down.
Then go be impressive.
That I can do. Hello?
Mr. Harlan wants to see you.
You want to see me, sir?
You've done fine work here.
Thank you, sir.
I mean that, 5 years as manager, and I don't believe I've had to correct you more than twice.
I take pride in the work.
I know you do. That's why I was surprised. Surprised? A man in your position has to understand appearances.
I'm not sure I follow.
Clients come through here. Vendors, men with families, investments, reputations. They don't want politics mixed into business.
I don't bring politics into my work.
This the kind of reading you bring to work?
It's a book, sir. I read history, economics, politics, same as any man trying to understand the world he lives in.
Careful, Reggie.
Careful?
I'm trying to help you, Reggie.
By questioning what I read?
By reminding you that this company has given you an opportunity.
I've earned every position I've held here.
Of course, that'll be all. And Reggie, don't let outside ideas make you forget who signs your paycheck.
What you just saw represents the beginning of a much larger work. It establishes the tone we are pursuing, grounded, intimate, and historically aware. It also gives us something essential, a real cut we can evaluate, improve, and build from. There are elements I'm proud of, and there are elements that will change. That is the purpose of an early assembly. The standard is not whether every frame is finished today. The standard is whether the story is becoming clearer, the performances are becoming more human, and each production decision moves us closer to a film audiences can trust. The next phase is about refinement, stronger continuity, more consistent character work, better sound, purposeful pacing, historical detail, and a musical identity that supports the family rather than competing with it. Affirmative is being developed through a human-led, AI-assisted production model. I want to explain what that means in practical terms, because the value is not the novelty of a tool. The value is whether the tool helps us tell the story with greater clarity, consistency, and care. First, what AI is helping with. It helps with visualization. Before committing to a complete scene, we can explore composition, wardrobe, period texture, lighting, and emotional tone. That gives us a way to test whether the world imagined on the page is beginning to read on screen. It helps with scene generation and iteration. We can develop visual options, assemble a sequence, identify what is missing, and revise more quickly than a small independent production could through a fully traditional pipeline. Faster does not mean automatic, and it does not mean every result is usable. It means the distance between an idea and something we can evaluate becomes shorter. It helps us test character continuity. We can compare whether age, face, hair, wardrobe, physical presence, and emotional register remain believable from shot to shot. Continuity is still one of the hardest parts of this production. A single convincing image is not a scene, and a group of attractive images is not a film. The audience has to believe the same people are living through one continuous experience. It can also reduce certain costs. That does not mean the production has no costs. Writing, research, generation, storage, rework, editing, sound, music, rights, quality control, and professional finishing all require time or money. The advantage is that we can place limited resources where they create the greatest value. Explore more before locking a choice and avoid some expenses that would otherwise put this scale of historical story out of reach. Most importantly, these tools give an independent creator leverage. They make it possible to present more than a pitch deck or a promise. They allow us to build proof, learn from real footage, and enter serious conversations with something people can see and respond to. But that brings me to the second point. What still requires human authorship? The story is human, the writing is human. The decisions about what Reggie wants, what Lisa fears, where the family is divided, and what audience should feel are human decisions. Directing choices remain human. I decide where a scene begins, whose experience leads it, which reaction matters, how long silence should last, and whether an image serves the drama or merely calls attention to itself. Performance direction remains human as well. The emotional intention, restraint, timing, and relationship behind a line or gesture have to be judged against the character and the scene. Editing is human authorship. A tool may help produce options, but it does not assume responsibility for selecting the moment, building the rhythm, protecting a performance, or removing material that weakens the whole. Music curation is also human. A strong track is not automatically the right track. The music has to understand the scene, leave room for the characters, and support the film's emotional point of view. An emotional judgment cannot be delegated. AI cannot decide whether a family's fear has been treated with dignity, whether an opportunity feels earned, whether a historical detail builds trust, or whether a scene is asking the audience to feel something the story has not yet earned. Those judgments belong to the filmmaker. That is why we keep production records, approve character references, revision notes, and rights documentation. Human authorship is not only the first idea, it is the continuing chain of creative decisions and accountability that shapes the final work. AI does not replace the filmmaker here. It gives an independent filmmaker a fighting chance to tell a story that would otherwise require a much larger budget. And that is why this matters. Affirmative is not being made to demonstrate software. It is being made to explore work, dignity, family, technology, and the private cost of opportunity. If an emerging tool helps this independent team visualize that world, iterate responsibly, and direct more of the available budget toward what the audience will actually experience, then the tool is serving the film. There are still limits. A generated clip is not automatically a usable shot, and a usable shot is not automatically a finished scene. Motion can fail, identity can drift, sound can expose every weakness. Historical details can break the illusion. Rework is part of the production plan, not an exception to it. Sometimes the right repair is a trim, a sound bridge, an insert, or a different editorial choice. Sometimes a shot must be rebuilt. We will continue to share the purpose and the lessons at a high level while protecting exact prompts, vendor settings, and the repeatable internal methods that form IIG's developing production advantage. The audience deserves transparency about how the film is being made. Transparency does not require publishing the production operating system. The standard is simple. Technology must remain accountable to the story. When a choice makes the film clearer, more believable, or more emotionally honest, it earns its place. When it does not, we revise it or remove it, no matter how impressive the technology may appear on its own. Music has always been part of how I understand story. Before Affirmative moved into production, I also created as Fury Beats. In 2023, that path brought me into the same Battle of the Beat Makers matchup as producer Benny D, a past champion of the competition. We participated as independent competitors. Benny advanced by the judges' decision, but what stayed with me was the creative respect that competition can create. A battle can be a moment, a professional relationship can travel much further. As Affirmative began looking for its musical language, Benny became the first producer to follow through with a formal submission for consideration. That does not mean a final placement has been awarded. It means the conversation has become real. And tonight, I want to recognize the person who showed up early. What I value about this moment is not simply the connection to a respected competition. It is the follow-through. Benny did not wait for a finished film, a large campaign, or a guaranteed placement. He listened to what Affirmative is trying to become and contributed music for consideration. That willingness to show up early is how a creative ecosystem begins. Tonight's spotlight recognizes that contribution, while allowing the final soundtrack decision to remain where it belongs, with the completed story and the needs of each scene.
Don't know what to say, you're my enemy. Next thing you were down and you're enemy. Don't know what you think, what you mean to me. Next time that you tell them on your property, tell them that you got yourself a lady, that you make a man go crazy. Fucking on my ex and let me see you. Forget all the rest, I don't wanna hear it. Took another minute and I'm making it, yeah. Don't know what it is, cause it's screaming my name.
Benny has confirmed that he owns the music and has authorized its use in this preview. The selection remains under consideration. Sharing it tonight does not guarantee final placement in the film. Benny, thank you for believing enough in the project to contribute at this stage, and for allowing us to share your work with this founding audience. You have now seen the story, an early piece of the film, the production model, and one of the creative relationships beginning to form around the music. The next question is straightforward. What happens from here? Rather than rush the full film for July 31st, We are using this period to present the strongest preview materials, grow the founding 100, secure partners, and move toward a more polished late October, early November feature presentation. That is a disciplined production decision. It gives the work room to improve while making the next stage visible and accountable. The roadmap has 5 phases. The current phase is about scene polishing, soundtrack submissions, and sponsor conversations. We are strengthening the opening material, improving sound and continuity, protecting the strongest existing footage, and rebuilding only what fails the story or the credibility standard. On music, we are listening for emotional fit while confirming rights and maintaining clear records. On sponsorship, the goal is not volume, it is alignment with organizations and people who understand what the film is trying to do. The preview phase extends into late summer. The founding 100 will receive a clear update, selected scenes, and a structured opportunity to respond. That feedback will help us identify where the story is communicating and where viewers need more clarity. It will not turn the film into a committee project. Final creative decisions remain with the filmmakers. The most useful feedback tells us what you understood, where your attention deepened or drifted, which relationship mattered most, and what questions stayed with you. The fall is the production build-out. The focus will be completing the core scenes, refining the edit, making music selections, and developing any sponsor integrations that are generally appropriate. An integration cannot interrupt the period world or compromise the story. If a partner relationship does not fit naturally and transparently, it does not belong in the film. Our target for late October or early November is a first feature cut for internal and private review, a substantially more complete presentation that can be evaluated as a film, not simply as isolated proof. That timing is a target tied to quality, resources, and the successful completion of the core scenes. It is not a promise to release an unfinished cut publicly, just to satisfy a calendar. After we have a stronger cut, distribution outreach becomes more meaningful. That is when conversations with festivals, platforms, sponsors, and community partners can be grounded in the work itself. The strategy may include different routes rather than one all or nothing outcome. Qualified private presentations, festival or platform conversations, community screenings, educational discussions, and partner-supported audience building. Between those phases, we will track progress by usable story, not by the number of files created. More footage is not the goal by itself. More connected, believable, and emotionally complete story is the goal. The roadmap is designed to provide confidence without pretending that independent production is perfectly predictable. Dates are targets. Standards are commitments. Each update should demonstrate movement in story, quality, organization, or partnership, not simply activity. At this point, you have seen enough to understand both the ambition and the work still ahead. So I want to make a focused invitation. We are inviting select sponsors, partners, and early supporters to help bring Affirmative through its next stage of production and audience building. This is an opportunity to be visible at the beginning of a project, designed around story, culture, technology, and legacy. The right sponsorship is more than logo placement. It is participation in a project and a community of ideas. We are interested in people and organizations that want to be early, visible supporters of several areas of alignment. First, independent Black cinema, culturally specific work built with seriousness, dignity, and the intention to reach audiences beyond the limits often placed on independent stories. Second, AI-assisted storytelling. Not technology as a gimmick, but the responsible use of emerging tools to give independent authors greater creative leverage. Third, workforce transformation. Affirmative is set in an earlier era, but its questions about training, access, technology, risk, and economic mobility speak directly to the changes families are navigating now. Fourth, family legacy stories. The film is not only about one man's ambition, it's about how opportunity affects a household, how sacrifice travels across generations, and how families decide what kind of future they are willing to build together. Fifth, music and film collaboration. The Benny D Spotlight demonstrates the kind of early creative relationship we want to cultivate. Artists responding to story, rights handled clearly, and music chosen for emotional purposes. And sixth, community-backed media. An audience that does more than consume a finished product. The Founding 100, trusted connectors, advisors, and future ambassadors can help the work grow through informed introductions, feedback, and responsible word of mouth. For organizations considering a formal relationship, we can begin with 3 clean pathways. A lead production partnership may support a defined stage of production or audience building and receive an appropriate negotiated credit and activation plan. A supporting or community partnership may center a screening, discussion, work-first, or educational engagement, or a clearly bounded promotional collaboration. An in-kind or creative partnership may contribute qualified services, facilities, expertise, music, post-production support, or access that the production actually needs. Those are conversation categories, not prepackaged promises. Any benefits, deliverables, credits, usage rights, timing, and measurement must be confirmed in writing. We will not promise audience reach we have not earned. We will not display a partner's name or logo before approval. And financial support will not purchase editorial control over the story. Creative independence, transparency, and audience trust remain central. This program is not designed to close every agreement on screen. It is designed to make the right follow-up conversation possible. If you represent an aligned company, institution, community organization, or brand, visit iigstudios.com and tell us what your organization cares about, what kind of participation you are exploring, and why Affirmative appears to fit. If you are not a sponsor, you can still move the project forward. A thoughtful referral to a partner, artist, music, or sync professional, advisor, post-production resource, distributor, or community connector may be the most valuable action that you can take. We're developing the Ambassador Hub for supporters who want to share approved materials and earn clearly defined perks when the program launches. The Hub is pending. Interest now is an invitation to receive details later, not enrollment in terms that have not yet been published. The goal is fit, not pressure. We are looking for relationships that strengthen the work, respect the audience, and make sense for both sides. To everyone who registered, watched, encouraged the work, offered advice, or made introductions, thank you. Early belief carries a project further than people realize. Affirmative is about a man standing at the edge of a future he cannot fully see. In a different way, every independent production begins in that same place. You make the next decision with the resources you have, the people who believe, and a responsibility to keep the story honest. This story has been waiting nearly 10 years to be told. Now, the tools, the timing, and the community are finally coming together. If tonight connected with you, I'm asking for only 3 actions. First, stay connected with the Founding 100 so you can receive the next update and help us learn from an informed early audience. Second, refer one sponsor, partner, artist, or advisor whose work and values generally align with the project. A specific, thoughtful introduction is more useful than a broad list. Third, contact us directly. If you want to discuss sponsorship, soundtrack, or music and sync opportunities, depending Ambassador Hub, or another serious collaboration, visit iigstudios.com, choose the contact path that fits, and mention the July 31st Founder Preview. There is no live question and answer session tonight because I wanted to respect the time you committed. Send your question, introduction, or proposal through the site, and follow-up will begin after the event. Affirmative is still in production. What you have seen is not the end of the story. It is evidence that the story is moving. Thank you for seeing the possibility before every frame is finished, and for considering the role you may play in what comes next. I'm Jason Moore. On behalf of IIG Studios and IIG Films, thank you for being part of this first look at Affirmative. Good night.